Hey, this is Leslie, and you're still in the right spot if you were looking for the Rooted Goddess podcast. I've done a little rebranding on my podcast, and I'm so excited about it. It's still everything you know and loved about the Rooted Goddess podcast, but we've changed the vibe just a little bit. I hope that you love it just as much as I do. Hey, beautiful. Welcome to the Not Another Mom podcast. It's time to take that mom hat off because this is after hours and I'm making you off the clock. This podcast is here to help you know your worth because damn girl, you're a goddess who deserves to live the life of your dreams. I'm your host, Leslie Sprague, and we talk everything from manifesting to motherhood. Yes, those little monkeys will still creep in here or there. Spirituality to girl talk with your besties, and from business to finding that balance in life. I'm here to remind you that you are worth it. Life gets to be easy for you, and your dreams really can come true. So grab your favorite glass of wine, craft beer, or if you're a whiskey and diet kind of girl, grab that and let's get this show on the road. Welcome to the Not Another Mom podcast. I'm your host, Leslie Sprague, and today I have the amazing limited edition Erin Binns with me, and we are just gonna chat about life and business, motherhood, all the things, and see where the wind takes us. We're doing it candid, off the cuff, unscripted. So you should bound to be in for a good interview.
Thanks for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah. So I like to start off with a few icebreaker questions. And this is one of my favorite questions. If you were in a Miss Universe talent show, like in the pageant, not talent show.
Yeah.
What would your talent be?
Oh my gosh. Well, I would say that I am not musically inclined. I am not any of those. But if I could pull a car up and perfectly parallel park it, that's my secret power.
Oh my God, I love you.
I don't have any other things I tell a joke or whatever, but literally sometimes I get out of my car and I'm like, I hope people are watching because that was amazing. Or this should be in a young driver's video of how to parallel park. The tighter the spot, the better I can fit it,
Oh my God. And I'm the total opposite. If I can't pull into a spot, then I'll drive around the block finding a spot.
I can't even be in the car with you. I can't even do anyways, I do pride myself on it, I'm a good driver. I'm a really, really good driver. So
yeah.
Anyways,
yeah.
Would you talent for you?
I love it. No, that's perfect. That's why I like this question, because it totally throws people off the cuff.
Yeah.
And if you could have a dinner date or an interview with anybody, there is no holds bars, alive, in spirit, whatever, who would you love to have a dinner date interview with?
Oh my gosh, that's tricky because I'm so I don't have one specific idol kind of thing,
right.
But definitely I have two in the world of somebody like Ricky Gervais, somebody's so funny and very aware of the world and he's just so hilarious. Or someone in the world of definitely Tina Turner for sure.
Oh,
Tina Turner is I just recently listened to the podcast between her and Oprah, and She's just amazing. Like, and I got a new bike this year and I named it Tina Turner because like I just feel like such a badass on my bike when I'm riding it. And she's just like she's wonderful. You should go listen to the podcast, but it's like
Yeah.
she just embodies everything. Like she's so secure in herself. Like one of her lines is like she wants nothing. She has done so many things and she's just amazing.
That's
Amazing.
awesome. So is that like on Oprah's podcast?
Yeah, on the OWN one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to have to check that out for sure.
She's just this rockin' lady who obviously has been through amazing stuff, but she's just, yeah. And who doesn't want to listen to like Proud Mary? Like I listen to it all the time, you know?
Yeah. And I think that's actually like a perfect like segue into what we are kind of talking about before, because both you and I are very like big believers in, yes, we are moms, we love that, but we are so much more than just a mom. And I don't want to downplay that either.
No.
But there's so much more to me, and that's what this podcast is about. And I want to like empower women to be themselves and in a sense like be so okay in your skin, like what you just said about that podcast, that it doesn't freaking matter about anything else.
No, and I think it's fine if that's a lot of people really have always wanted to be a mother. Like that is what they're and that's amazing. And I also think it's very important to like have something of your own that is not that your identity is tied up in motherhood.
Yeah.
But there's okay to be, obviously it's wonderful to be like, that is like, you just absolutely love it. And me, I was like, I love spending time with him and I love spending time by myself, you know, like, so it's, you know, it's a limited time. I can't do it all the time. But yeah, no, I think that it's really important to explore what you love to do, who you are. You know, I am definitely me first, then mother second. And a lot of people are mother first, me second, and whichever works. I don't know that it always works that it's mother first all the time, because I think sometimes we get lost in it and we can like just, that's all you end up doing. And we sort of forget, you know, like I sent a message to my 2 girlfriends the other day. It said, I'm over parenthood. Can we just get drunk and do something stupid? Like, just was like, can we just go back to the days of like in our 20s when we were just not a care in the world and had fun, and just like, it just didn't matter that there was soccer practice on Saturday morning. Like you didn't have to wake up for Saturday morning, you know? So,
oh my goodness.
Yeah.
We, a few good girlfriends of mine and I, we like every month we do a pizza party. So, and we rotate houses and everybody comes, but the kids have a blast because they're all playing with each other. And as a bonus, they're out of all of our hair.
Yeah.
And then the girls, like, we all get together and just have like an amazing chick session. And then the guys just, well, they do guy things and like watch sports.
Whatever they do,
whatever they do. But like, we have had some amazing nights that way. And we
I was gonna say, like, we need our girlfriends.
Yeah.
Like women need connection and to like fill our cups up with our girlfriends for sure.
Yeah.
And not talk about mom stuff the whole time.
Oh God. Yeah, exactly.
Right? Yeah. So for sure.
I totally agree too. Yeah, because like one of them said recently, she goes, I didn't realize how much I needed this. Like, because we put a pause on it first a little bit, and it's like, okay, no, now we need to get back into our routine of this. And
well, especially with the pandemic as well, it just even the pandemic has just shone this bright light on all the cracks that are like in your life. Like it's just like glaring at you now because you don't have, you know, obligations or commitments or all these things. You're like, what are you gonna do this weekend? Well, you know, I'm gonna You're like, there's not the way in which we used to run our lives before. And now you're like, oh no, I really want to do this, or I want to do that, or I have, not necessarily time. I've got an 8-month-old. I don't have time for, anyways, but you know what I'm saying, right? It's just,
yeah.
Oh yeah. And the 5-year-old too, right?
Yes.
He's pretty self-sufficient. He makes his own lunch sometimes, he's pretty good.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I think my daughter said something, well, Mom, I need you. And I'm like, no, you're 8. Like, you are self-sufficient now. You take care of yourself. She goes, no. It's quite funny. But.
Which I'm actually very lucky. My 5-year-old is like, really, I got it. I'm like, okay, bud, but he like goes and gets every morning for school. He gets the stroller out the back, brings it around the front, and I put Annie in it. And he's like, no, I'm going to push her to school. And he pushes her. It's like literally like a drunk, like teenager. Like, you're like, just like, stop. Like, you're just out of control. But he's like, I got it. I was like, okay, bud. Like, you got to let them do that. And I'm also very like, want my kids to be very independent because I don't want them to rely on me for everything. And sometimes I think it's, so
I think we probably parent like a lot the same.
Yeah.
And
do it yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Like you got to learn these things. And yeah.
For sure.
So tell us like a little bit about what you do, like, because this podcast is all about like also showcasing mom boss babes, and I know you are one of those. And just about like connecting to our worth and knowing that you are worthy of being and doing whatever it is that you want in life. And so to share a little bit
for sure. Well, it's funny because as I talk about like I'm me first and a mother, but it really was once I became a mother, it was really the catalyst of what I'm doing right now. So I worked in for a luxury hotel brand for 17 years. Like all the millennials are like, 17 years, who works for one company for 17 years, right?
Yeah,
but
exactly.
It's true, but I love the company. They were wonderful. But literally once I had Jack, I was like, I cannot go back to working those hours. And when you work in a hotel, I was in sales, you're there in the morning, you're there till night, you're on a week. It's just a lot. And I had him and I thought, okay, I can't go back. But I also always knew when I was working there, as much as I loved it, as much as I had a wonderful team, like I really had a great experience there. I always knew that I wanted something of my own. I was like, I wanted to work for myself. I wanted to create something, but I also had no idea what that would be. So naturally, my whole family is in real estate. I'm like, okay, I'll get my real estate license. So I worked and got my real estate license while I was working at the hotel as a backup. And then when I had my son, I was like, okay, that's when I'll do it. So to make a long story short, I ended up going back to the hotel and I started in real estate. And I really had a tough couple of years because it's very, there's a lot of industries that don't evolve, like hotels, lawyers pretty much run the same, and real estate. Like they all, they all work in which it doesn't evolve that much, like the principle of how, and so I really just had a tough time in the beginning because it was very like, go door knock, go cold call. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm a hard worker, but it literally just was like, was not in aligned of how I wanted to run my business. So anyways, and as I get into this entrepreneurial life, I met so many other entrepreneurs, not just in real estate, but like in other mom entrepreneur groups. And I was always like, well, what are you doing for your business? Are you, doing this to your clients or that? They're like, no. I was like, I come from the world of hotels where you create an experience for your clients. You take care of your clients. 80% of your business comes from 20% of your clients. So I really saw a missing gap in the world of entrepreneurs on how to manage their business and their clients, because entrepreneurs, as you know, are always like looking for the next client. Where's my next client? I'm like, oh, They're over here in your database.
Yeah.
Take care of me, like there's a lot of people who do what you do. So you don't want to give people a reason to go anywhere else. So staying connected with your clients and stuff. So I really created a program for entrepreneurs of coaching them and a mastermind as to how to really increase your revenue through client care. It doesn't have to be some new fancy, marketing or social media plan, and really teach them how to do that by not working more, but working more efficiently.
Yeah.
And so that's sort of where that erinbinns.com and my Beyond the Lobby program was born from, was out of a missing that I was seeing with all these entrepreneurs. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. And I know that's something that's definitely missing in my business, and I need to evolve on that.
I'm happy to help you. It's actually really quite easy. It just is putting the system in place, but just seeing where the gap is. That's all. Like, it's in this execution. And it's funny because most entrepreneurs don't want to do it. Like, they don't want to send a card, or they don't want to acknowledge their clients, or they don't want to call them for a referral, but they want the money, right? They want the next client, but that's where your client's going to come from. So it's sort of this disconnect, and it's just very, breaking down the barriers around that, and just call somebody and say thanks for your business.
Yeah. Well, and
right,
and being on the receiving end, I've received some super sweet cards from it's as simple as a card from my my own coach, our coach. Right. And it's oh, that's so sweet. And I get the warm feelies, so why wouldn't my clients get the warm feelies?
Yeah, totally. And it takes, listen, the art of client care and customer service is dwindling rapidly. And the art of connecting with people is dwindling, because there's, on one hand, we're connected because of social media. On the other hand, it's a barrier, and people don't call on the phone anymore, and people don't connect with their clients the way they used to. And if anybody ever wants any kind of tips, or you want to model customer service, you look at somebody who works in a hotel, because you can't recreate that any other way. A guest walks into your lobby, they want to be greeted a certain way. Like, they're not going to suddenly walk through the loading dock. Your guest is always walking through the front door, right? Like, they're not coming in the back door, right? They're coming through the front, and they're like, how can I help? And that's how you really want to treat your own clients, as if they're walking through the lobby of a hotel.
Yeah.
And that you take care of it, and everything on the back end, behind the scenes of the loading dock and behind the kitchen, that doesn't matter as long as your guest is having a great experience, right? So you get to be the concierge of that.
And that, I'm just thinking beyond business too. That's an amazing way to live your life, is
100%.
by being so much more caring and compassionate. That that's missing a lot in things, and
because people in general are very I was going to say something, but we make it about us more than we make it about somebody else.
Yes.
The society, of what you need. And the moment, if you're having a bad day or something, do something for somebody else, because it quickly turns around your energy. It takes the emphasis off of you. And when you do something for somebody else, it's that whole giving and receiving. If you could see my hands right now, I'll be
yes.
Right? You're like, oh wait, people can't see me, right? It's the giving and receiving, and when you give something, you're gonna get it back tenfold.
Yeah,
100%. But the problem is there's a lack of output. There's a lot of inputting, lots of lack of output for sure.
Yeah,
and this is all coming from a place of recognition, not of right.
Well,
but when we make it about. Yeah.
And I feel like I've been really guilty of that myself lately. And I've been doing my journaling and work, and I'm like, well, I'm making this all about me.
Yes.
And
yes,
I need to shift that focus, because it's not about me.
No. And at the end of the day, you can journal all you want. You can listen to podcasts as we are here. You can
Yeah.
listen to audiobooks. You can do all these things, are all very important. But if you don't take an inspired action or any kind of action, you're not going to grow your business. You're not going to live like a fulfilled life. You're not going to feel connected with your friends or your family or your partner if you don't do something.
Yeah.
Right. And that's like picking up the phone and
So
calling a friend that
true.
you haven't talked to in ages, or I'm just thinking about you. And it doesn't have to be a long-winded thing. It can just be
Yeah.
like something small. And also, like, when was the last time anybody got a nice piece of mail, like a letter in the mail?
I can count like clockwork. My grandma still sends
Of
us
course.
a birthday card
Yeah.
every, like, she can nail it to like the
Yeah. My
day.
mother-in-law sends us like the St. Patrick's Day cards or like Halloween cards. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
So yeah, it's pretty awesome. But it's one of those things that it's like a output.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
I definitely like your I love this because like it's totally like making me think on my own life and things like that, and it's something definitely need to improve on.
Listen, the
Yeah.
world needs a bit more kindness out there, especially right now.
Yeah.
And if people were just kind and compassionate to others and took care of others, and also in your world of your clients too, you know, your clients want to know that they're appreciated.
Yeah.
Like,
They're
they
not.
can go spend their money somewhere else. There's a bazillion real estate agents. I think there's like 20,000 in Toronto. They
Oh,
can choose to work with anybody else,
yeah.
right? Choose to work with me because they know that they're going to be taken care of. It's going to be I'm going to get the best deal for them. I'm going to be reliable. I appreciate my clients. It's one of these things where it's like it takes the guesswork out of it for them. They
Yeah.
know how it's going to go, or at least you're in communication with them, and those type of. I mean, I could go on and on about this stuff
I know.
for hours.
I think we're gonna have
Yeah,
to have a conversation after this.
you're like, I could use some improvement in it for sure.
In a lot of areas.
It's okay, but it's just like you
Yeah.
just have to be. It just takes a little bit of not even effort, because you're already trying to find new business, but you're trying to find it over here and over here, and you have this pool of clients that you've worked with before,
Yeah.
or that could be repeat clients, or I when I first started this last year, I was chatting with somebody who had done a deal with had done they offered like video conferencing or video making videos.
Yep.
And I said, okay, well, you have a client in March, right? And they spend X amount of dollars, thousands of dollars in March. When's the next time you talk to them? She's like, well, I would send them like a Christmas gift. I said, okay, but from March till December, they could have had a baby. They could have had a new project that came
Exactly.
on. They could have, and then they hear of somebody else who does what you do. But because you haven't been in contact with them, they just want we'll just try this person out because you haven't spoken to them. So it's really important to connect with your clients throughout the year. And if they have like a major life event, you send them something, or you call them or anything, because creating a strong relationship is going to have you build a solid business. Because I ask you this all the time. If you had to call your client and ask them for a favor, would you feel weird about it? Or would you feel confident that they would say yes?
I
And
would feel
most of the
weird.
time it's
Yeah.
exactly
Yeah.
because you would feel like, oh, I'm only calling them because I need something. You're
Yes.
not calling them because you've been, but over the years, and I worked at my last hotel I worked at was for 10 years. And I built relationships with so many of my clients that I know that even right now, if I had to call and be like, I need your help with something, they would do it because they knew that all those years I always took care of them and we became friends. And because you become reliable, you help them out in a pinch, and the hotel is sold out and I can squeeze you in here, or like they knew that I would always go to bat for them, and I would. So I know that I could call them, but oftentimes if you're calling them just like, oh, can you sign that contract for me? Or like if you had a contract, you need to make your numbers like, can you sign it this month instead of next month? I'll make my bonus. They're like, okay, yeah, I'll get it through. That type of thing. But it's because you've built up a relationship of being reliable and helping them out when they needed it, or you did something special for them out of the blue. So that's kind of like your barometer, is if you can call them and ask them for a favor. If you're like, yeah, okay, I would have no problem calling, then you're in good.
Yeah.
If you're like, I'm feeling weird about it, you're like, there's some room for improvement.
There's some room for improvement. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The wheels are so like spinning so much in here.
Okay,
and
good.
like
That's what I'm here for. Just stir the pot. Stir the pot.
Oh my goodness. That is awesome. And I totally, yeah, it's
Relationships will get you, your relationship over your business will get you so much further.
yeah.
But people don't get, they're not building these deep rooted relationships because it occurs to people to be hard.
Yes. But it doesn't have to be.
No,
At
because
all.
you're always making it about you and you're not
Yes.
making it about them.
Yes.
And what are you going to get out of it? But if you turn it over and make it about other people, I promise you, it comes back to you. I promise you. People will refer you. People will help want to take your next course. People, if you are relatable and reliable and know what you're doing, you're good.
Yeah.
You will build a solid business on that.
It's funny, like I talk a lot about connecting with your high vibe self, like you're the person you are striving to be. And if you do that same thing with, let's even say like your romantic relationship, if you're not happy with where your relationship is right now, but you have this idea of what you want it to be, connect with the version of them that you are that you're dreaming of, but and connect with the version of you that is in that relationship. Guaranteed she's not doing the things that you are doing in your current state. And I'm a firm believer that it starts with like you. I like to look at myself first and then go from there. And like instead of going and attacking your partner and saying, well, you're not doing this, blah, blah, blah.
Oh yeah. Don't
right, like
on that.
well, what can I change to make this better? And then be that spark of inspiration. And I don't know if that makes sense, but quite often
no, for sure it's also just shining the light on yourself. Like you don't point at everybody else, but really I'd say, if you're looking to change things in your business or even in your life, like what's like one little thing you can do for yourself and for your clients, like especially for yourself, of taking care of yourself, or if you want to go get a blowout of your hair, or depending on what area you live in, more hot spot Toronto than is out in like
out in the boonies in small town.
Boonies, right? I live across the street from a testing center, but anyway, it's like, it's a big line today. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like it's sort of like you gotta break the monotony of it. And that's also in your business too. Like what's like the one small thing you can do, like even to call your clients, say, and listen, not everybody wants to get on the phone, and I get that. It depends on your business, right? Like it also depends on your client. If they're a phone talker, call them. If they're not, they're not gonna, we all know, we all have friends who like, every time you call, they're not gonna answer the phone.
Yeah. Well, and I've even
that for sure.
I like to call sometimes just because like texting gets me nowhere. Like I'd rather just call you, get to the point. And I've been on, like I've called one of my girlfriends and she's like, is everything okay? What's wrong? Like they just automatically think the worst. And I'm like, no, I know. I just wanted to see if whatever, right?
I know. Yeah, you just have to mirror your clients. Somebody once gave me this was back in the day when you used to call, is to you listen to their voicemail and you have to leave them a voicemail. Listen to their tone. If they're like, "Hi, you've reached Leslie," you're like, then you leave a message. "Hi, Leslie, it's Erin." You know, but if you're like, "Oh, hi, you've reached Leslie," then you talk fast as well, so because that's how they receive their information. I thought that was a good tip.
Oh,
But anyways, yeah.
I was just trying to think what mine is. Like, yeah, and I'm definitely not the fast talker.
Yeah, no, I probably am. But anyways, yeah, I just think it's, just to
Yeah,
do something slightly different, and um, yeah, and it's also too like if you're looking to start a business, like taking that leap of faith, like you have to
yeah.
know it's gonna be, it's all gonna work out. It's all gonna work out.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yes, for
I
sure.
totally, yeah, because we've both been there. We both have those feelings or have had those feelings where we doubt ourselves and we're like, oh crap, this isn't working. Like, nobody wants to
Yeah,
buy my program or hear what I have to say. And like, yeah, it, it's tough, but when you have that faith and keep going for that version that you're striving for,
hmm
you can't help but to bring it in. And
for sure. And you also have to do things that in which how you want to do business. My business in real estate completely turned around when I stopped doing what other people were telling me to do. And
yep.
I started working my warm market and doing things like a softer approach as opposed to cold call and, like, I only
Oh,
have 5 minutes. Do you have anybody who wants to sell a house? No. Okay, great. Okay, do you know anybody who wants to sell a house? No. Okay, great. Like, it literally is like makes me want to have heart palpitations of like, and like door knocking. I think I did it twice. I literally would like stand at the end of the street and be like, which door looks inviting? No, that one. No, not that one. I would like walk up to the house like, no, I don't want to go there. Like I would just like, it would kill. Like I just wanted to crawl under a rock. And then
yeah.
when I started doing my business, like I went from doing $800,000 in sales to 8 million in 1 year. Like it just completely exploded.
Oh my
But
God. Yeah.
I know, but you have to, but it's because, and most of those were with people that I had met either at open houses or who were in my warm market. And it literally, but it was like I felt so much more confident in how I was delivering things and how I was running my business, that then the leads just sort of came and started, like it started to snowball. But it when I was doing the same thing before, but in terms of like how I wanted to, like I was still wanting to sell real estate, but it was just like it was like landlocked. Like I couldn't break through it. And but when I started to do things, so my point is in this whole story is what feels good for you, but make sure you're still taking that action and listen to your instincts. And if like the partnership you're in might not be the best one, or who you're aligned with, or the type of, there's a million coaches out there. If that coach is not in alignment with you, find one that is. Like it just doesn't, find your way by taking an action and listening to your instincts. Your instincts are always going to be like they're screaming at you, and we often ignore them on purpose, which is very strange, but we do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't do that anymore, but I for sure did it for many, many years. Yeah.
Well, and that's like when you learn about like the consciousness of the gut, it's your gut instincts. It tells you things.
Yes.
And
And women know, like women too have this major, major antenna, like a huge antenna
yep,
that knows every time,
yep.
every time.
And we don't trust in ourselves to answer, like to
Yep.
listen to that. Every person sitting here listening to this podcast, if they're pondering something, they already know what they need to do.
100%. Yes.
But it's whether you choose to believe and trust that answer, then fight against it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
will, I bet you will still come to the same result. You just might be forcing it a different way for a while and then finally come back around.
For sure. For sure. And if you are listening to this and you have that idea, or you have, this vision of something that you want, and you're right, there's an action to take, but it's literally because you are so scared of being wrong or making the wrong decision that you're not going to do it. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you take an action, that you move one step. It can be a baby step. It can be like a little tiny shuffle but it has to be forward. It cannot be backwards or the same, because that's just being the same is gonna move you backwards. So it's just one of those things where you have to take some sort of action forward.
You have no idea. Like, I swear to God, you're basically coaching me right now. Because you have no
Always happy to.
Because this is basically like I am going through this like right now, and
Can I swear on here?
Yes, you can.
Like, you just need to get over your own shit. It's really what it is.
And
honestly, it is.
Yeah.
You just have to stop making it about you.
Yeah. So like you're talking the whole time and I'm like, yep, here's that.
Yeah. 100%.
Oh, yeah.
And it's only because it's coming from a place of recognition.
Yeah.
Like of my own stuff, my own self-doubt, for sure, my own insecurity, my own fears of what other people will think.
Yeah. Well, and
of what, yeah.
So like I was on last week was going to like launch my new program, was excited, and then I got thinking about like I felt like I was letting other people down. And like I'm not going to get into it all on this podcast, and like I went down the deep negative rabbit hole, and then I didn't launch it yet. It's still being launched, but like part of it was I'm like, this, I don't want to launch it in this energy, like because I was going down that dark, a beating myself up tunnel and thinking I wasn't worthy and all that nonsense story I was telling myself, and I bought it. I
know.
So
yeah, I always tell it like it is. That's one of my, I don't know what's the word. I don't know what it is, but that's just what I do. I don't beat around the bush. Even some of my people I coach in my program, I'm like, okay, do you want the real straight talker? Or do you need me to be a bit gentle? Because sometimes not everybody's like ready to hear the realness of it, but it really is just getting out of your own way and just stop making it about you. That's like a huge thing, is that when we turn it around and stop making it about us, then we are happier, we are more productive, we are just the better version of ourselves, is when we're so not into ourselves.
Oh my gosh.
Well, did I just snort? I almost just snorted on your podcast.
I love it. We welcome all things on this podcast.
Okay, good.
Whether it's curse words or snorts, we're good. And it's funny actually, because my daughter was having this conversation with us. She's like, well, what's a swear word? And then shit was one of them. She goes, is shit a swear word? And I'm like, well, some people, yes, probably. Me, no. Oh yeah. So
when the 5-year-old drops the shit, is actually like, can you say it again? It's so funny. But you're like, yeah, you shouldn't say that.
Yeah, I shouldn't say that. Oh well, we bait our like kids sometimes. We'll be like, they'll say, oh well, I know I can't say that. Well, what are you gonna say? What were you gonna say? And then And then they'll feel safe to say it. And then we'll tease them, be like, oh, you can't say that.
I know. Well, Jack came home the other day. He was chatting. There's this kid in his class who, I don't know. He's not down with him. Like, he was doing this and doing this and doing this. And I said, well, you don't have to tell the teacher everything. Like, because he's like, well, he's climbing up the slide and I wasn't allowed to do that either. So if he can't do it, he does. So he tells on it. I said, well, you shouldn't be a tattletale. He's like, tattletale? Is that French? Like, oh, because he's taking French. He just thinks it's funny. So anyways, I told him about being a tattletale, and is that French? I was just like, please, I wish I recorded that. It's so cute. So, but anyway, yeah. So it's,
funny.
Teaching our kids to be independent and to take risks and do all those things. And I think sometimes we should just take our own advice that we tell what we're telling our kids to do.
Yeah. Oh, exactly.
Right. And to be kind to ourselves. We have to be more kind.
Yeah.
And gentle.
My sister-in-law is amazing and like very patient with like her children. And she said to me the one day, she goes, yeah, our kids are just like teaching us lessons of like what we need. They're kind of like mirrors for us, right? And I wasn't having it that day, and I'm like, well, I don't want to listen. I don't want those lessons. I just want them to do what I tell them.
Oh my gosh, we could go on and on about that for sure. Yeah. So, but yeah, no, it's definitely, the theme of it is like just to take the spotlight off ourselves and
oh, that's forward. Amazing. Yeah. Write that down. Take the spotlight off of yourself.
Off ourselves. There you go.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. I knew this was going to be an amazing podcast episode with you. And I think we might have to do this again sometime.
Oh my gosh, I'll totally be up for it. I love telling people what to do.
That's awesome. Okay, so if somebody wanted to check you out, learn more about you, where is the best place to find you?
Well, on Instagram, I'm at Erin Binns. You can find me also at erinbinns.com. And I'm on Facebook too, but not as much. So I'm also
me neither.
There. Yeah. So I'm there for fun and stuff. But or hello@erinbinns.com.
Yes, and we will leave those links for you in the show notes.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed this. I think that, the podcast world is amazing and you can learn so much, and you're a wealth of information, and people be more than happy to do your courses and for you to share all this. And I love that it's called Not Just Another Mom Podcast, because it's so important for us to stay true to ourselves.
Oh my God. I think that is such an amazing example to show our children too, because by us staying true to who we are, it shows them to do the same thing. And
for sure. And not just in the world of motherhood, but when our daughters are, starting the world of dating, and they want to date, certain guys or what have you, and they get lost in that, and they sort of do whatever, just being super powerful, independent, but also being kind and generous and to ourselves, and really honoring who we are as women, as mothers, as teenagers, as, teaching everybody to be strong and independent, but also not too independent where people can't contribute to your life either. Right. There's two sides of it. So I think that it's very important to do that, because it's sort of like when you have a baby and they ask you all these questions and they say to you, how are you doing this or how are you doing that? I'm like, I'm not doing any of that stuff.
No, I'm not doing that.
No. How are they latching? No, they're not latching at all. So, just like with them, that's just. Anyways, I could go on about things that people tell you when you're pregnant, but anyways, that's another side. That's another side story, right?
Yeah.
So, thank you for
another episode.
Yeah,
you're welcome.
Next, people say to you that they shouldn't.
Oh yeah. There's a whole nother. All right.
Anyways, I should go tend to my baby who's going to be
Yes.
up from a nap soon.
Perfect. All right.
All right, that. Thank you
All
for
right.
having me.
You're welcome.
Talk to you
Thanks for
soon.
coming on. And
course.
until next week, have a great week, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for listening. If you love this episode, will you do me a favor and help spread the love? Go ahead and leave a 5-star review and share this episode on your Insta stories. If we aren't yet connected on Instagram, come follow me at Leslie & Co XO. And since everybody spells my name wrong, that's Lesley and Co XO. And leave me a line and say hi. Have an amazing day, beautiful, and we'll catch you next week.